Sometimes the world looks perfect, nothing to rearrange. Sometimes you just get a feeling you need some kind of change. Standing tall on the wings of my dream, rise and fall on the wings of my dream. Rain and thunder, wind and haze, bound for better days. It's my life and my dream, nothing's gonna stop me now.
All right, welcome to TGIF. Tanner Grover invites friends. It is day 15,503 of being me, and it is exhausting. But today I'm having a combo with someone that I don't really like. I love. It's my childhood friend, Kristi Fender. Kristi, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so I always like to start off with how we know one another. But before we get into that, Christy, what do you think our estimated DOF is? And by DOF, that's short for date of friendship.
Oh gosh. So what, probably like late 80s we met? Because in kindergarten, you were born a lot later than me. So I'm in 82. So I would say like 87, 88.
Something like that. I'm trying to think because you got babysat by Angel, right? Were you a part of that going
I,
over there?
I was part of that. Yeah. So
Okay. So
yes.
that's like 87 or 8, I want to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we're talking about roughly 39 years of friendship.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I tell you, the whole reason I really knew you were at Angels is because I actually had a crush on your older sister, Jen,
No.
who would be over there.
Oh my gosh, Tanner. How come I didn't know about this until now?
Uh, I like to keep my secrets guarded.
Wow.
Um,
I had
but
no idea.
yeah, I have like this very early memory of like laying on the floor with this, hot older girl, Jen Giles, playing some kind of, there was some game. Do you remember? I think it was called like Topple. Do you remember Topple?
I do remember Topple. They still have it around.
Do they? That's still a thing?
Yeah, I think my kids have played it, but I'm shocked that she wasn't like reading or something.
No, no. She was teaching me the, Topple strategy. And it didn't go beyond that, but it was a very fond memory for my 3-year-old self.
Wow. That's such a great story.
So, Christy, let's see. In our friend group, I have
Mhm.
always considered you uh, the nice person. You're the nicest friend I have. And you laugh at that, okay? But I think you laugh at it because you kind of have to know it's true. You are the nice one.
I want to say maybe in high school I was. I'm a people pleaser. That's part of it. I wanted everyone to get along. I'm also a Libra, like the harmony. I don't like fighting. I don't like people arguing. I just want people to be happy and get along. If you read about what a Libra is in the horoscopes, it's accurate with who I am as a person. But it's funny you say that because I was just talking to a coworker at work and I was saying how I'm actually become quite a bitch the older I've gotten. Can I say
Really? Yeah, no, you can totally say bitch. That's fine. uh,
um
yeah, this is
I
more not safe for kids on
yeah.
YouTube. So, yeah,
No,
what the?
I'm still nice, but I just set boundaries now. I get like I think part of it is just me working in healthcare, and I just deal with a lot of personalities, and you really have to learn how to have a backbone and set boundaries, because otherwise you're just going to get trampled all over. So,
Okay. So, all right, speaking of personalities, I like to ask this of everyone that comes on because this podcast or show or whatever you want to call it, it's really an exploration of like friendship and connection and like getting to
mhm,
know one another and, just kind of I don't know. It's a feature for people I like and love, like
mhm,
yourself. But anyone that takes the time to listen to it, I hope that they gain a better understanding of their own friendships and their own relationships. So I like to
mhm,
ask the person, um, what was, if you can remember, and maybe not the first impression, because we were really, really little, but what's
mhm.
one of your earlier impressions of me? Like, did you ever have maybe a conversation at the dinner table with mom and dad, and you said, this Tanner guy is such an asshole or something? I don't know.
No.
What do you think of me, Christy?
Again, I think you're one of the nicest friends that I've ever had. Our friendship has always been constant. I don't even ever remember having an argument with you, like ever in my history of friendship with you. I don't. Um, I remember really little when you used to have, I don't know if it was like a play therapist or someone that used to come over and work with you. And I remember being in your living room. I remember this so vividly. And I was so mesmerized by what she was doing with you. I don't know if she was stretching or something. And I'm going to be honest, like, you're a huge reason for why I became an OT and why I love working with people and helping people and have helping people live their fullest life despite any sort of disabilities or challenges or things like that. I just remember that so much, and I think that's why I went into healthcare, to be quite honest, let alone be a therapist. But again, I just remember you always being super nice, having a big smile in your face. And again, that constant like person, that constant ear, you're always there for all of us, especially the girls. Whenever we had issues with some of our guy friends or things like that, you were like our personal therapist.
Bo- Boy, do I reach that bad of desperation. Uh, I tell you what, so your memory of me is, let's see, I'm on the floor getting tortured by a therapist, and you're like, this is really cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've never heard. I have no recollection of that whatsoever, but I'm honored that you somehow have made this your career path. So where are you at right now with like OT? Like what's your your 9 to 5, I guess.
So I just do per diem. I work typically about 3 days a week. We've been pretty blessed that I haven't had to work full time. Even if I did, I think it would be really a big challenge because, as you know, my family's in Maine and Michael's is in Texas. We literally have no family help. Um, so when I was working full time when Dakota was little, um, I went. I was home with her for a while, and then I went back to work full time when she was like almost 2. And it was a challenge because, especially, you have nieces when they're sick, you can't send them to daycare. And I had to take days off. And there was one time she had pneumonia so bad, and I was out of work for a week and a half. And my boss was like, we need to talk. We need to figure something out. And Michael and I sat down and we're like, I'm just going to go per diem because I can be home for school vacations. I'm home for the summer. I do work in the summer more now because the kids are in camp certain days a week. Um, but I've been working at a hospital in Manchester at Elliott Hospital. I don't know if you have heard of them. It's like a trauma center.
I
Uh,
haven't.
they have a rehab floor, acute rehab. So I've been there for uh, 10 or 11 years, maybe. And I love it. I love acute rehab. We get a lot of trauma cases, more of the younger population, stroke, brain injury, amputations, motor, like everything. And it's a challenge, but I really, really love it. That's kind of where my heart is right now because I've worked in a lot of different settings, and I want to say that's probably where I really like it. So I'm there, yeah, like 3 days a week, sometimes
Yeah.
4.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, so you're still doing it. You still love it. I know that it's interesting. I'll send you a message every once in a while with some kind of, ailment or, actually, probably these days, we relate more on skincare. Yeah,
I was gonna say your skin looks great, by the way.
it's that beef tallow that you sent me. It's all that. Yeah, but you're always so quick and ready to respond, and I feel like you're the kind of person, whether you realize it or not, you manufacture or not manufacture, you just have like almost like a solution for everything, and maybe that comes with you alluded to like niceness, people pleasing, being a Libra,
Mhm.
whatever, but you are in fact like a problem solver. And like I want to give people like an idea of like a better idea of how kind and thoughtful you are because you are like successful and you're a great OT and you're a great mom and great wife, great friend, all those things. But I had this example in mind. This is the early days of social media and connection,
Mhm.
the AOL Instant Messenger days. Okay. And I think this is probably, I want to say it was spring break. It was like March 2002. And you put up an away message, as people tend to do. And it was something to the effect of like, home on spring break, baking with mom. And, and I replied, and I was like, if you're making chocolate chip cookies,
Oh,
I'll be
yeah.
I'll be at the Y at 3:30. And you fucking showed up with a plate of chocolate chip cookies to the Y. And I'm like, that is why I'm friends with Kristi right there.
That's
Like,
so funny. Yeah. I do, you know, food is a way to everyone's heart. I do still love to do stuff like that. Like I cook banana bread for a lot of people. It's funny because Dakota's the same way now, and she actually just made a batch of chocolate chip cookies for her softball game this past weekend. So I do think whenever I make cookies, I will say I think of you because you also liked the gluten-free chocolate chip cookies that I used to make. I don't know if you remember that.
before they were trendy, I liked them.
Yes. We somehow thought they were healthier because they were gluten-free.
I still like to think that in my mind, if that's
Yeah,
okay.
I know. That's
So,
so
so you've got kids, you got Dakota and Liam, and you're like in it right now with the whole sports scene. So how's
yeah.
how's this going with all these going to kids' activities?
Softball and baseball season are nuts. She also plays basketball, which that's a whole other story, and soccer, but that's not as crazy. But holy smokes. And I think because it's softball is her sport, that's the one she loves, which is hilarious because I hated softball with a passion. I purposely failed tryouts in middle school so I didn't have to play. My parents were like, you have to play 3 sports. And I didn't want to. I hated softball, Tanner, so much. It was way too boring for me. So I had a tryout before we went to Florida and I like threw the ball all over the place. I actually could hit. I was a good hitter, but I like would strike out. I missed all the balls. Like I just flunked it, I guess you would say, and I didn't make the team. So it worked out. But
Who was the
um
coach?
Mrs. Dorr.
Oh, you couldn't just suck it up for Mrs. Door?
No, I
No.
hated softball. It was way too boring for me. It was too much standing around. You know, at that age, there's a lot of standing around. There's not a ton of action in like sixth, seventh grade. And it's like, I don't know, but Dakota didn't start softball till late, like fourth grade. And she just fell in love with it. She's a pitcher. She works hard. She has pitching lessons. We do hitting lessons. We have, practices every day, like 3 or 4 games a week. And I feel bad because Liam is the one that's getting like, pulled around everywhere and he's bored, but he plays baseball, but he's still like so young that it's only like one practice a week and games on Saturdays. But like Saturday, I was at the ball field for 6 hours
Wow.
because she had a
Wow,
double.
that's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, did you find, with your daughter, like finding an activity that she really took to? Like, did that take a while? Because like Liam's so young, where like
Yeah.
you're probably just trying everything, right?
Liam is the athlete in the family, like the natural athlete. He did not get his skills from me at all. We already know that, Tanner.
Don't, don't, no, I'm not going to let you do that. Chrissy, you got that sweet left-hand drive that
That
we
is
all know about, okay? And like, you were kind of an unsung hero in your tournament game up in Augusta senior
right.
year. You were buckets, all
That left
right? So like, don't sell yourself short.
so funny. So, yeah. So he does everything. He wants to do everything. He's just like Michael. Michael's the kid that would try a new sport and like excel at it. The kid that you're like, oh, I hate that. It's not fair type of thing when you're younger. But
Mhm.
Liam's that way too. I mean, he learned how to ride a 2-wheeled bike by the time he was 2.5. He goes to the pump track and does jumps, like tricks on his bike, and he's a great baseball player. He's a good goalie in soccer. He loves soccer, and he loves basketball, and he does a good job. Um, so Dakota was at the age, like when she was younger, she did more of like, she did the individual stuff like karate. She did dance for a while, and then she kind of outgrew it and was like, I don't want to do this anymore, which was fine. And she did well with karate, and I was excited that she was doing that. But then again, she got bored. So a friend told her, she's like, why don't you play softball? And I was like, oh gosh, no, I don't want to do softball. And Dakota's like, please, mommy, I want to try. I was like, fine. So it was 4th grade, and we went to like a skills and drill session that they did before the season started, and she fell in love. So then we had to go get the bat, the glove, the helmet. I'm like, this is an expensive sport. Maybe this is why I didn't like it. But and then she took to it. So I want to say it took around like 4th, 5th grade for her to kind of figure out where she fits with sports, I guess. She's always kind of played soccer off and on. And then she didn't, again, basketball, 6th grade, middle school. So, middle school's in 6th grade down here. I can't remember. I think up in Booth Bay it's 7th and 8th grade. But
Yeah, it is.
tryouts were happening. Pretend it's like a Monday, and tryouts were happening on Wednesday. And she comes home. She's like, I'm going to try out for basketball. I was like, what? You haven't played since 2nd grade. You hated basketball. She's like, yeah, I'm going to try out. I'm like, well, you don't have basketball shoes. Tryouts are in 2 days. So we had to go get basketball shoes. She tried out. She made the team, Tanner, and she loved it. So that was
That's
kind of
cool.
cool. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
the basketball because I actually understand it. So during the games and stuff, and I was like giving her pointers on how to set a screen and how to box out, like all those little skills that you learn at that age, or you might already know for some of these kids that have been playing forever. But that was fun.
So can I ask, like, is like how does she do with like winning and losing? Because I just remember from my own like take, like growing up and even now, like as an adult and when I was coaching, I've had to like temper my expectations
Mhm.
so much because I'm like so competitive. And I'll share this with you. I went to a game this past winter. I saw
Uh-huh.
Bobby Deachin's son play for
Yeah.
Belfast, and he was a freshman. He started at point guard, which was not Bobby's position at all.
Right. Right.
Yep, but they won the game that they played, and he played really well. He was great, and he didn't like score a bunch of points, but like didn't make any mistakes. And the team won, and they just kind of were like, do, like, we won, okay, no real like celebration. And then Bobby was like, Tammy, what drives me nuts is if they lost, they would have been the same way. And I'm like, Bobby, you know what is weird? And he agreed with me. I was like, we hated to lose more than we enjoyed winning. And then
Mm-hmm.
the byproduct of it was because we hated to lose so bad, we made sure that we always won. Like
Right.
that's like how competitive we were. And I'm not
Yeah.
saying that's like healthy or not, but I just wonder how like people differ.
Well, here, I gotta let my dog in real quick because she's barking really
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah. This is a pet friendly show.
Like a tour of my house.
Yeah.
Dottie, come inside. Oh my goodness. So I would say that this generation of kids are a little bit better with all of that because they've really honed in on, especially with sports here. I don't know about up there, but we have to be kind to our opponents. Everyone's working hard. Let's spread kindness. Let's have a good attitude.
All right, but hold on. The way you're saying that makes me think that you don't subscribe to it.
Well, this generation is also the generation of everyone gets a medal. Like
Yeah.
everyone, and so we have rec here. It's the rec. So it's kind of like the YMCA sports that we had. So grades like kindergarten through through fifth is all rec sports for the town. And then they start playing for the school. So the rec department, which is fantastic, they do a lot for the kids, but they all get medals at the end of the season. Everyone's a winner. And during our generation, that's not how it was. It was a winner and a loser. And like my son will even say, he's like, I just can't wait for baseball to be over so I can get my medal because that means we won. I'm like, oh dear Lord. So
Yeah.
teach my kids, no, there's going to be a loser and a winner in every game. And if we do lose, it's kind of stink. We don't throw things or throw a tantrum. We just try harder next time. That's kind of like the message I give my kids. I'd say Dakota has more of the competitive streak in her.
Mm-hmm.
When she started playing team sports again, she had quite the little attitude if she lost, or if she struck out, or if she threw like really bad pitches. She would, not give a high five when they're trying to like pump her up, and she'd throw her helmet in the dugout. And I'm like, no, we're not going to do that. you know?
Sure, yeah. Yeah. But not that like, all right, so like the action, like whatever, we don't want to do that. But like I do think that there's something to be said for um, it's an indicator of like wanting to do well,
Right.
And it's not like the worst thing in the world. It's just kind of
No.
how you express yourself.
Yes, exactly. I think that she's a little bit like me where she's really hard on herself. She wants it to be perfect every time. Um, Her personality is very similar to mine. She's super critical of herself. Um, so yes, if she like the doubleheader game on Saturday, she was having a really hard time pitching. And I was like, you just started pitching like today, like during the game. You're still warming up. Then of course she pitched the second game and she's throwing strikes left and right. I was like, see, you just needed to get warmed up. You need to get in the rhythm. Like that's all part of the process. So but as you know, sports, it's like such a mind game. And if you go in with the wrong mindset, it messes up your whole game. So
Yeah, totally. I totally get that. I wanna switch gears because I could talk sports all
I know.
day. Um, but I wanna just ask you about um staying in touch with friends and how uh we had this conversation a long time ago. Again, kind of formative, like early 20s years. And I think you were coming home from college,
Mhm.
and I was telling you about my college experience. and how I think you said, yeah, I've tried explaining to my college friends how close
Mhm.
I am with all of my high school friends.
Mhm.
And I said something similar. I remember having a class where we literally had a professor ask us, like, what do you think your stronger friendships are? Are they here in college or were they back in high school? And almost every person in the class was like, oh, my college friendships are way more meaningful than my high school ones. And I
Mm.
was kind of an outlier. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you guys are fine, but I kind of like the people I grew up with. Um,
Yeah.
so we're like, what do you think about that? And the other thing I want to talk about is I know that I think you and Emily and maybe Kara, you kind of make it a point to see each other annually. And
Yeah.
yeah, I want to talk about that. And I
We're
want the
actually
dirt. Spill the tea, Kristi.
we're actually due to do that. We haven't usually we're good about setting a plan. We try to get together at the start of the summer before it gets nuts, and we actually haven't done that. I was just thinking about that the other day. I was like, we need to like plan something. No, I would agree. I feel like I'm the outlier as well, like with all my friends down here in New Hampshire, and then even some of the college friends that I still keep in touch with, they didn't have the same experience that we had in high school. Um, and then even a lot of my coworkers, they're like, "Oh, I don't talk to anyone from home." I'm like, "Oh, well, I still do, you know?" And they just the other day we were talking about reunions, and they're like, "Did you go to your reunion?" I'm like, "Absolutely." And it was a blast. They're like, "Did you saw people that you wanted to see?" I was like, "Yes, like everyone," you know? They didn't have that same experience. I think we were just a very unique class, and I think all the teachers have said that about us too, like all the high school teachers when I've talked to them. um Funny story too, when Mike this is a side story, but when Michael met my dad, he flew in from Texas and we picked him up at the airport. We went to dinner, and my dad said, "I'm going to warn you, Michael, like I hope you're not a jealous guy." And Michael's like, "No, I'm not, especially if I trust her." And he said, "Well, this is rare, but Kristi has a ton of guy friends, and it's purely platonic. Like they're just friends. Like there's nothing more there." And he's like, "I don't get it. I don't get it at all, because back in my day, if you were friends with a girl, you had, you know, there was a reason you were friends with them or something like that." And it's true though, because I am like I'm friends with, Mike and Ian and you and I mean I don't see Bob.
I think the term your dad was going for was they're shacking up, right?
It,
That's what people used to say, in the
yeah,
70s.
exactly.
Yeah.
So and I think I love that about our class, to be honest. I love that I can still come home and sometimes I'll run into some of you. Unfortunately, I don't see a lot of friends when I'm home because it's usually a really quick trip. It's like for a day or two. So
Mhm.
I am coming in August for a week, though, by the way. We are coming up for
Okay.
a week, so I'm excited. Um, but yeah, I would say the same thing that it's really rare that partly too, a lot of the schools around here are really big. They're huge, and my husband went to school he had 1,000 kids in his class. So they were like just a number at that point.
Yeah, we graduated with what, 56 kids?
I think it was 62.
Was it
Was
that?
it?
Okay.
I
I
don't
don't
know. It was
know.
close, yeah. But
Yeah.
it's
Either
less than
way,
that
it's
now.
oh, well, now it's a whole other thing. And
Yeah.
that's not unique to Booth Bay. It's actually kind of statewide. It really depends on where you live. But unless you're in like that greater Portland area, like I'm pretty in tune with school enrollments. And like, I think like Falmouth and Gorham,
Right.
they're getting bigger, but they're even talking about consolidating, Deering and Portland, which is
Oh,
insane to me.
wow.
Um, yeah, so everyone's affected differently.
Yeah.
Um, but Booth Bay is, yes, very tiny. I'm
Yeah.
not sure how many seniors there are this year, but it might be like 30 or 35.
Oh, wow. However, I want to say the high school seniors here, it was only like 45 in the class. I mean, the school that district that in, it's comparable to like what we had as kids. It's about the same size actually, which I like.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to what you were saying, yes, Kara and Emily and I try to get together once a year. We said that we were going to start making it like a weekend event, but it's just been really hard to do that, as you know, with like Emily and her kids, my kids, like scheduling, trying to schedule 3 schedules. And then Kara's got like kind of a wonky schedule compared to the rest of us. And there was a time that Kara and her husband were coming down in the fall as well to our house, staying for the weekend, which was really nice, because her husband and my husband get along really well, and they're both into biking. So they would go down. There's a mountain up here. Gosh, I can't remember the name of it, but it's like with the trails where they're this wide. You know, like the downhill, like mountain biking, like the trail riding where you have to take the
Yeah.
ski lift up. Like that's what they do. They love it. So they've kind of like fallen in love with the sport together. So yeah, we try to get together. We usually end up going to Portland because it's kind of like a central meeting point, and that's why we've said we needed a whole weekend, because we just talk literally for hours catching up, like a whole year's worth of catching up. Because we otherwise,
That's what happens, right? And so, like, I just love that you all do that. I think that is cool and intentional, and I hope that, like, no matter what your schedules are, you find a way to make that happen. Because to me, that's like just the most important, like, coolest thing
Mhm.
going on. You know, it really is. And
Yeah,
like, I try to do it in my own, circle of like super close guy friends. It usually revolves around Thomas Tully and
right.
whether or not he's coming out from California. Um, and the way he operates, we often don't know until
Like the day
48
before.
hours in advance.
Yeah,
Yes, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And it's like, and he always has amnesia, by the way, whenever it
yep.
comes to men. Like, where do I stay? Where should I eat? What do I do? I'm like, dude, you grew up here. It's all the same.
Sounds about
Um,
right. I love you,
yeah,
Mike, but oh my lord.
yeah, too many mushrooms.
Yep,
Um, but it is fun, and he came up last summer, and it was myself and him and Joe and Andy, and we tried to just get together and hang
yep.
out. And like you're saying, you can, you spend 2, 3 hours together, but you cover, almost like a lifetime's worth of memories plus the catch up of whatever you're doing now.
Yeah, yeah. We end up having a whole range of emotions during our meetup too. Like we laugh, we cry a lot, we laugh again, we get serious. Like there's a bunch of stuff that we end up covering, stuff that we hadn't talked about since we were kids or since we were in high school, things that happened, or it's therapy for all three of us. We've said that. It's really nice. I hope we end up doing it this year, but last year Kara couldn't make it. It was just Emily and I. Um, and Emily and I, our daughters are similar age, so like they're I think 6 months apart. So it's actually kind of refreshing to talk to her and compare stories mother to mother, because they're both very similar. And it makes me feel normal as a mother that I'm
Sure,
not
yeah.
doing an okay job because Emily feels the same way, or she's dealing with the same struggles or things like that. So,
Yeah, no, any kind of commonalities you can find with people are like really helpful.
yeah,
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll catch up a little bit on me, what I've been doing, and you kind of know this anyway. You know about my speed dating endeavors and whatnot. Uh, yeah, but I've been going to singles mixers,
that's why
and
the tallow, it was in time for your speed dating.
it was, yes, and I touched up my guy lights and, I tried to really fully prep. And I really need to go shopping. I need some new clothes, but I'll get to Freeport or something
Yeah,
eventually. But yeah, I've been doing that and it is, God, I am envious. Here's the thing about, growing up with all you guys is I admire all my classmates so much. And I think you all, I don't think you take it for granted or anything like that. but all of you have these, what I perceive as like a single person, as like these very kind of stable relationships that you have.
Mhm.
Not everybody, but a lot of you do. And I do, admire you all and look up to you and are, envious to a degree, sometimes, not all the time.
Mhm.
But it's tough. It's definitely tough to be, 42 and going to events like this and trying to feel comfortable and
Right.
confident. And
Right.
the one benefit I have going for me is I have a diary of the mouth and can talk to virtually anybody. So
Yep.
regardless of what I'm doing, I'm going to be making friends. But I went to one as recently as a week ago, and I found myself making friends with this guy who was like 23, who was there, but he just had like some similar music tastes, and like
Uh-huh.
conversation was good, and like that is kind of this cool little outlet for me that I'm like thankful for, and I'm going to continue to do more of
Yep.
this stuff, and hopefully meet a nice, more age appropriate lady along the way. We'll see. But I'm actually taking some steps to put together a singles mixer here in Booth Bay
Oh,
in yeah, in September. So
you need
stay
to
at
you need to tell my brother about it.
yes, we'll get Trent there. So yeah, I'm hoping I think it's all gonna come together probably in September. So
Nice. That's
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, it's cool.
I kind of want to go just to watch in the corner.
Oh, well actually that's the great thing. I'll tell you this. So when people are welcome to all these events, right?
Mhm.
And it's this outfit out of Portland that's going to help collaborate and make this happen in September. But the first one I went to was at an axe pit in South Portland, like
Uh-huh.
throwing
Yeah.
axes or whatever.
Yeah.
And my sister and her boyfriend, they were like, "What if we go? We'll be your wing people, but then we'll like pretend to meet and be like, the success story of the night." So they did a little like that, Allison, whatever. They did a little role playing thing, and they're like, posing for photos, like they
Oh
just
my
met one
goodness.
another.
That is so funny. I love that.
It was pretty cool.
That's so
It
great.
was,
I don't think Michael would role play. He's not into that. He's the opposite of me. He's an introvert. I guess that's why we work out because I'm the extrovert in the relationship.
I never pegged Michael for an introvert. I've never, like he's someone that every time I've met him, he's in this like great mood. And I don't know why, but I'm like, why are
Well,
you
he's
so happy, dude?
because he's married to me, Tanner. I mean, come
That's
on.
it. All right, now it's on. Yeah,
I'm joking.
it all makes sense. It finally all makes sense.
It's funny. Everyone says that about him, and I will say, like, he's not someone that really loses his temper ever. And if he does, like, if he's really frustrated with the kids and he raises his voice, like, it really makes the kids really sad and upset because he never does it. He's always pretty even keel. He really kind of like balances me out because I can get really heightened pretty quickly and like passionate and upset and frustrated, and he can like really bring me down, which is nice. That's why we work. But um he has like a lot of social anxiety. He just doesn't like to be around a group of people. It has to be someone like people he really knows and trusts. Like he's okay with that type of setting. But like the reunion, that would have been too much for him, even though he knows Kara and Emily and you and certain people, but that would have been way too much.
Sure.
So he's kind of the guy that like likes to go to work. He's a homebody. He likes to be home with his family, home with the kids, and then he does his things around the house and then he goes to sleep. I'm the one that's like, I want to go do this. I want to go do that.
Now
um,
all his family's in Texas, right?
yeah, which is
Yeah.
great.
Do you ever go? Oh, okay. Do you not go there?
We haven't been since Liam was like 2 or 3. It's a lot. Like it's a long day of travel because not only you get to the airport and then you still have to drive 3 hours to get to his family's house. So it's like an 8 hour or 9 hour travel day.
Okay.
It's a lot. And to do that with kids, it's a lot. The last time we went, no, Liam was 4 maybe. We drove. And Liam did great in the car. Dakota not so much because she's like a princess. And that wasn't bad because then we had our own car and then we could just go where we wanted to go. And we drove straight to his parents' house. We went for a whole week. But yeah, it can be stressful down there. His family is very different than mine. So, and Dakota's also older now, so she understands and sees things a little bit more that she doesn't want to be around it as much. So, it's fine. His mom comes up like once a year, sometimes once every other year.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I got you. Let me ask you this, Christy. Yeah, I know we probably have some limited time left, but I've got a couple other things I just wanted to chat you up about. So I am trying to take this podcast to like get to know things I don't know at all about my friends, right?
Uh-huh.
And so these are like simple things, but I'm not sure I know like what your favorite movie or TV show is.
Oh gosh. See, you should have asked me this before because now I'm going to take a long time to think.
Okay. And
I
it could just be the last thing you watched too.
you're gonna laugh. So all over social media, they like millennial moms have been like talking about watching Off Campus on
Saw
Prime.
it.
You
Saw
see?
it.
And I shockingly loved it. You know what I mean? It's so funny because I love all the things that have come out about it, like the moms my age being like, Googling the age of what was his name, the hockey player. I already forgot his name.
Garrett.
Yeah, Googling the age of Garrett to make sure that he's not that he's old enough. He's older than like your son or something like that. But it's true. And I really liked it actually. I like the sappy like drama stuff, but I loved my husband and I watched Outlander like years ago. Did you ever watch Outlander?
I did not know.
I'm trying to remember. I think it's on HBO now, but we started watching that when we moved into the house, and they have like 10 seasons.
Oh
It's re
wow. Okay.
um we really really liked that because Michael and I have very different taste in movies and stuff like that. So it's kind of hard to agree on something.
That
So
the off-campus thing does not surprise me at all about you, by the way. That's
yeah,
like so in our like vein of teen soaps, whether it's, you know, Dawson's Creek, Gossip Girl, The OC. That's kind of what it reminded me of anyway. Just kind of an updated
yeah,
version of
you know,
that.
yeah. Um, hot hockey players like curly, messy hair. We all know that I'm a sucker for all of that. I always
I,
was.
I was I was jealous of all their haircuts.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess that. What was the other question? Movie. You said movie.
Um, Movie or the other thing, we can talk about too, and I actually have a music story, but your favorite like artist,
For
or
music.
album even for music, yeah. I know
Oh,
you
Tanner,
love music.
do you not know that I'm like a diehard Pearl Jam fan, like since middle school.
Well, I know that. I just didn't know if there was a replacement answer or something I didn't know about.
I love well newer, I guess. So I love Pearl Jam. I love Nirvana. Like I have a wide range of music that I really like.
Mhm.
I used to love Green Day when I was younger. But more so recently, I listened to a lot of Noah Kahan.
Everyone loves Noah Khan. Like
I
everyone loves Noah Khan.
I've loved him from before he was like even really well known. Like I'd hear some of his music. A friend had shared some of his singles with me, and she's like, "Oh, he's from Vermont." And I kind of like followed him every now and then. Then when he got bigger, I started listening to more of his music. But
Yeah.
yeah, I am.
He's doing like 4 days and 4 nights in Fenway.
I know, I know. I told my husband I would love to go to that because he's
So
like a
one
Boston fan.
one thing I remember, and I'm sure you still have your copy of it because I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I got it for you. It was in the $5 bin at Walmart back in the day.
Oh, now I
Um, yeah, obviously you have it, you watch it routinely. But you told me once upon a time that you were a big Michael Franti fan.
yes, yeah.
Um,
I mean, I've
yeah,
loved him forever.
well, I bought you a $5 Michael Franti DVD from the Walmart bin, and I gave it to you once upon a time.
I'm sure I have it somewhere. That's so funny.
Obviously, you watch it every night, you know. Um,
Yes, I saw him. So I went to Bonnaroo when I was living in Boston. I went to like a big hippie festival in Tennessee. I loved it, and that's where I found Michael Franti and Xavier Rudd is my another favorite of mine. He's from Australia. He plays that like instrument, the long like what is it called? Did you? It starts with a
oh,
D.
yeah, the didgeridoo.
Yes, he plays that, and he plays all the instruments while he's also singing, the harmonica, everything. He's really good. I love him.
That's
They're
cool.
like,
Are you going to any shows this summer? Do you go to shows anymore? Like,
no, sadly, I haven't been to any. I I'm kind of bummed about that because as you know, when I lived in Boston, I was going to shows like every week, just to all the little venues and stuff, and I loved
yeah.
it. I love live music. And the Hampton Beach always has shows all summer. And sometimes, if you're lucky in Portsmouth, in the gardens there, they will play live music too and do concerts. And sometimes they'll have people that are pretty well known. But I just haven't been. But yes, I told my husband, actually, it's funny you said that because like a couple of weeks ago, I'm like, I want to start like going to shows again. The kids are old enough. We can leave them for a night with someone, it's not like we can't use that as an excuse anymore.
Would you ever go to a show, or have you ever gone to a show with your kids?
No, but I did tell Dakota I wanted to take her to Michael Franti. Because
Oh, there you go.
he always plays at the music hall in Portsmouth. And it's a lot of dancing, and you leave like in a great mood. And I love his message that he gives every time he gives a show. Sometimes it can run into like a political speech, but um the energy there is just amazing. Like there's dancing, everyone's happy. Like it's a great experience all around. Have you ever seen him play live?
I haven't. I probably have an opportunity to this summer, but I don't think I can make it because he's playing in Maine, I believe. He's playing. There's this new kind of outdoor venue in like Sydney,
Where's
Maine.
where's
It's
that?
it's by Augusta,
Oh,
and it's on a lake. It actually is really
oh,
nice. Yeah. I'm not 100% sure how accessible it
right.
is. It seems like it's almost like a campground, but they have like some fairly big names that are coming there, and Michael
Oh,
Franti's one of them. Um,
huh. I'll have to
so
look
I
into.
might, yeah, I can send you the date.
Yeah,
Let you know. But hey, maybe it's during August when you're up in August. I can't
I don't
remember.
know. That'd be fun.
Yeah. But no, I've never seen him live.
Yeah, he's a good performer. He's fun. He performs barefoot, like he never has shoes on. He's just a hippie, basically.
Who doesn't love a hippie?
I know, right?
Well, we're wrapping up, Kristi. I got one last question
Oh
I want to
no.
ask you, and I try to. It's not that bad. It's not a bad question. But it kind of plays into potentially your answer, like concerts or having something on the calendar to look forward to.
Mhm.
Um, but I was trying to have a way to wrap up this show with every guest. And so I kept coming back to my grandmother who passed away in 2008, and
Mhm.
she had lung cancer. And I remember one of my last conversations with her. She said, Karen, what my only real regret in life was that I didn't allow myself to have an ice cream sundae every time I wanted one, which I thought was like such a funny answer, but I'm
I
just
love
thinking,
that.
yeah, and I'm like, every time you want an ice cream sundae, like, Grammy, just eat the fucking sundae,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
um, and so, yeah, you can take that any way you want, but the question I want to pose is, what is your metaphorical ice cream sundae? And you can answer it from the standpoint of like, what's something that fills you up, or what's something that you're looking forward to, or what's on your bucket list? What's something that you want to do that you just want to make sure that, when the end of times is near, whatever that looks like, you don't have that regret.
Mm. Oh, there's a lot. Um, I really want to take the kids, if I'm thinking about like a family thing, I really want to take the kids to Europe and just explore. Like backpack, hike, whatever. I've said to Michael a lot that when I went to Germany, I feel like it wasn't enough time there, but I really remember thinking the country was so beautiful, and I want to go back to Germany and experience it now as a 40 something year old woman with my children, and I'm sure I will see it in a different view, compared to when I was, what, 16, 17 when I went. But I just remember it was so beautiful. And I feel like a lot of people, when people say, oh, we're going to Europe, I don't really hear a lot of people saying, oh, we're going to Germany. No one, it doesn't sound like a glorious, beautiful place. It's always France, or, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
right.
And to be honest, it's almost like this, like, higher power keeps trying to tell me to go there, because lately, the past year, I've had like 3 or 4 patients that are German, and that is rare. Usually it's Spanish speaking, you know, mainly it's Spanish speaking, or sometimes we'll get like London people from London that have an accent, etc. But I've had, just this week, I had another woman that's from Germany. She still has a German accent, so we started like talking a little bit in German, and I kind of missed it. Frau Beatty would be so proud of me.
She would be.
Yeah. So I think that's something I really want to do. I feel like we've explored a lot of the US. I really just want to take them to a different country, experience a different culture. Um, I personally, myself, I want to take a trip with like a bunch of moms and go somewhere really far. I don't know.
Really
Like,
far. Not really, help me out here. Really, what's really far?
not like far away forever, but I would love to go to like Hawaii with like a bunch of moms for like 2 weeks, or you know what I mean? Or even I don't know, some island, tropical island. I would love to do something like that.
Okay, well, Hawaii makes sense. I was worried really far was like, Rumford or something, because that's pretty far.
No. But yeah, I think that's what I love, to travel, and I feel like I have used the children a lot as an excuse, and I recognize that, to be like, oh, well, I can't leave the kids. I can't leave this. I can't leave that. I feel like I need to stop doing that and just go, you know?
I, I'm all for it. However, if it works out, maybe we can fly Thomas Deli up, and then him and I can babysit. How about that?
Oh, dear Lord.
Yeah, probably not the best
I
idea.
think I trust you more than him, to be quite honest.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah, yeah.
No offense to
No,
Mike.
no offense. No offense, Mike. Um, all right, well, Kristi, I could talk to you all day.
I know.
Yeah, and but I just want to thank you for being here, and I want to thank everyone for tuning in. And I hope that you found this conversation entertaining, enlightening, maybe a little informative. Maybe you laughed, maybe you didn't hear anything we said. Maybe it was something that you just threw on in the background, and you picked up a little nugget of wisdom or silliness here and there, whatever it is. I just hope you had fun. And Kristi, I want to thank you for being a friend.
Yeah, of course.